Le Monde has taken an interesting approach to this, the French newspaper. They have stopped publishing photos of terrorists and their names. And of course they report on the attack. And then others have looked to focus on the victims and name them and give them their place in this space. So I think there are ways in which one can report in more innovative ways on these attacks without glorifying.
Yeah, at the Young Turks, we, after the first day, we try really hard not to show the picture or name either the terrorists or the mass shooters. Because I agree with Bjorn, I think they're looking for glory in all the wrong ways, and we don't want to give them that glory.
Here's what we know so far about the background of the Orlando nightclub shooter. He was born in New York to Afghan immigrant parents. We are going to not say his name, we're not going to show his picture. We have no interest in idolizing or helping those who would idolize shooters of this sort. We are going to not say his name, we're not going to show his picture. We have no interest in idolizing or helping those who would idolize shooters of this sort.
More information on the Planned Parenthood shooter has been shared with the media in heavily redacted reports, and I thought it would be important to give that information to you guys. Now, the shooter was Robert Louis Deere, and he went to a Planned Parenthood clinic and proceeded to shoot and kill individuals. A man in Baton Rouge has been arrested for allegedly murdering 2 black men and attempting to murder another black man who lives near his home. Kenneth James Gleason is his name, and luckily he is in custody.
Nowadays, we're just so triggered by words. We're just offended by everything. Well, you know who else was triggered by the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and decided to take matters into his own hands? 46-year-old Robert Gregory Bowers, also known as the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter.
We are going to not say his name, we're not going to show his picture. We have no interest in idolizing or helping those who would idolize shooters of this sort.
Last Friday, there was a terrorist plot that was luckily foiled at an airport in North Carolina. Now, Sean King reported on this, and I'm happy that he did. Now, the person who attempted to bomb the airport in North Carolina was Michael Christopher Estes. There he is.
We now know who the terrorist was who ran his car into peaceful protesters in Charlottesville. It's a 20-year-old named James Alex Fields Jr. He lives in Ohio now.
I would consider myself a white nationalist, and I would consider myself a member of the alt-right.
That was James Patrick Reardon in Ohio, and he was actually arrested over the weekend because he had put out a video where he was shooting a gun and threatening to shoot up a Jewish community center near where he lives. Back in February, the authorities arrested a man by the name of Christopher Paul Hassan, and he was part of the Coast Guard who was stockpiling weaponry and planning an attack against members of the left wing. That included both politicians and members of the media.
We are going to not say his name, we're not going to show his picture. We have no interest in idolizing or helping those who would idolize shooters of this sort.
Recently, there was an attack in Portland by a white supremacist named Jeremy Joseph Christian. And the first time we report the story, we give you the name. Afterwards, we try to leave it out to the best of our abilities. First time we report the story, we give you the name. Afterwards, we try to leave it out to the best of our abilities because we don't want to give these guys any kind of what they're looking for is glory in their idiotic, demented minds. What they're looking for is glory in their idiotic, demented minds. Shooting last night in Charleston, South Carolina at Emmanuel AME Church. It's a historic black church in South Carolina. And it was done by a guy named Dylan Storm Root. He appears to be some sort of right-wing racist that targeted black people in this country and obviously in that particular church. Dylan Roof was actually caught in Shelby when he had run over there to that town. He was actually trying to get to Nashville.
Earlier this week, Dylan Roof, the man who shot and killed 9 black individuals in a church in Charleston, South Carolina, was convicted of murdering them and also convicted of hate crimes.
What they're looking for is glory in their idiotic, demented minds.
Now that Dylan Roof is captured and he is behind bars, there is a report indicating that he is in a cell adjacent from the cell that Michael Slager is in. The jury in the case involving Dylan Roof, the man who shot and killed 9 individuals, black individuals, in a church. Dylan Roof, the Charleston shooter, has been sentenced to the death penalty. We are dealing with yet another shooting. In this case, 6 people have died as a result, including 1 police officer. The shooting happened yesterday in Jersey City, New Jersey, and it started off in a cemetery where the 2 assailants opened fire against the police officer. Then the situation went to a kosher supermarket, and authorities are now reporting that they believe that the 2 assailants, who we will not name, that's the policy here at TYT, the 2 assailants who we will not name, that's the policy here at TYT, that's the policy here at TYT, were specifically targeting the kosher supermarket. So there is some evidence indicating that this was an anti-Semitic hate crime. One of the assailants appeared to have a connection to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, a connection to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement.